All right, how's everyone doing? I'm Rich Celenza. Thanks for checking out my channel. A lot of times I do these videos after a workout, before a workout, during a workout. This time I'm leaving a workout. And what I want to talk about today is actually regarding your health and how your health is everything. And I don't think a lot of people even realize that to a certain point. And I get a lot of us understand that we do beat the shit out of our bodies from what we drink, what we eat, what we do on our, in our social life a lot of times, and I get all that shit. But I'm here to tell you, or just give you some idea on my perspective on how you have to truly start taking care of yourself, especially if you want to live actually a life that is more or less healthier than unhealthy. Hold on, let me set this up on my car. So what I want to talk about real quick is a comic strip that I once saw. I don't know where I saw it. It was so long ago. And what it was first it was a picture of a guy in like a Ferrari. And a guy pulls up next to him in like a Corvette. And the guy in the Corvette looks at the Ferrari and says, man, I wish I could have a Ferrari. And then the Ferrari takes off, and then somebody like a Mustang pulls up next to the Corvette, and the guy in the Mustang says, hey, man, I wish I could, have a Corvette. And the Corvette takes off, and then a motorcycle pulls up, and the guy in the motorcycle says, wow, I wish I had a car like a Mustang. All right, and then he takes off, the Mustang takes off, and then a guy in a bicycle pulls up next to the motorcycle and says, man, I wish I could, own a motorcycle. And then next to that, all of a sudden you see a guy jogging next to him, and he looks at the bicycle and says, man, I wish I had a bicycle. And then all of a sudden it panned to the top of the stairs in a stoop. It was like an urban setting, and there was a little boy in a wheelchair, and it said, I wish I could walk. And that, I've kind of like lived my life thinking of that perspective of how we take our health for granted every day. And I understand there's tons of people out there that are facing a lot of situations with their health. And I give you guys all the credit in the world. I have a lot of family members, friends that have a lot of different illnesses, including my parents, actually. And I understand what it is. I've had some sicknesses throughout my life, but nothing that drastic. But I've gone through sickness even with my daughters and my parents as well. But this is just basically for the person out there that is, they're healthy, right? And you kind of keep beating the shit out of your body. And when I say that, I don't just mean like, say, drinking or smoking or a lot of food you eat. It could be even in the gym. A lot of times people are doing workouts that are, instead of helping them, a lot of times they're hurting them. Or in the future, they're going to cause an injury. You really have to pay attention, because the one thing in life I talk about all the time is you can bullshit everyone, but you can't bullshit your health. You're not going to bullshit your body. So everything you're doing day in and day out is either helping your body or taking a toll on it. And no matter what, we're taking a toll on our body. That's kind of common sense. And I always say, death is hunting you, right? No matter where you go or no matter what you do in the future, eventually death is going to catch up with you and you're going to die, at least in this phase of our life. I don't know what the future lies, but right now, most likely, everyone's going to die, at least from this generation. But when it comes to your health, again, please, not only pay attention to what you're doing to yourself. And again, I don't mean to be drastic. A lot of people, I think, oh my God, for me to become healthy, I have to work out 5 days a week. I have to become a vegetarian. I have to stop drinking alcohol. I have to do this. I have to do that. Most of that is going to be all bullshit. You're not going to do that. What you're going to do is lie to yourself, or you're going to jump into something. Then after time goes on, you're going to quit because you don't like it. And the reality is, a lot of us like to eat shit food here and there, right? A lot of us like to have a cigarette once in a while or smoke a cigar. A lot of us like to drink. It could be wine, it could be whiskey, whatever the case may be. Just try to cut back on it and do it in moderation. Moderation is the key to life. I do videos on that as well, but just pay attention. And I'm not telling you to be a do-gooder and all that shit, but just please pay attention to your body. It's usually sending you signals. And I've discussed this before with people a lot of times. Your body a lot of times is like a car. And your car, as you know, sometimes when you're driving, you're starting to hear things go wrong and you kind of neglect it. And you're like, oh, wait till it gets a little worse. Then it gets a little worse. Then it gets a little worse. Your body, I think, to a certain degree, is very similar. It's sending you signals. Whatever that signal is, please pay attention to it and address it as quickly as possible. Because a lot of times, things don't get better as you know. They just start to deteriorate. And that's the last thing you want to do, because just for instance, say you start having a knee problem. Address that, because what happens is, As you know, maybe you start babying that knee and you're putting more pressure on the other side of your body. So now you're putting more pressure on the other knee. What is that going to lead to? It could be anything, your shoulders, it could be you getting chest pains, whatever the case may be, don't neglect it. I've seen these studies before, and I think the average man from like 40 to 65 or 70 years old only goes to a hospital like a couple times, unless it's very serious. And a lot of men die, as you know, of all different types of diseases because they just don't pay attention. And I'm just here to tell you, please pay attention to your health. I'm telling you, once your health goes, you are nothing. And unless you've really been in that situation, you really don't understand it because you kind of sometimes think you're indestructible or it's never going to happen to you, especially if you're younger. But I'm here to tell you, it could happen to you, and you really need to make sure you're taking care of your body the best way you know how or that you can. And again, you don't have to become obsessed with it. Just try to get some, the right type of vitamins if you can inside of you. Try to eat some decent foods once in a while. Try to, exercise if you can. Just take care of yourself. Don't neglect yourself. I see most people take care of their cars, their motorcycles, their businesses way more than their own health. And I'm telling you, you're going to pay a price one way or another, especially as you get older, because I've seen more and more people neglect their health throughout the years and try to make tons of money, which they do. And before you know it, they have a lot of illnesses. And before you know it, all the money they made, they're spending now on medical bills and things in that nature. So nip it in the bud, try to get a balance, and just please take care of yourself. Also lead, set an example if you got kids or other family member or friends. And because a lot of people may look up to you a lot more than you think. And if they see you doing a lot of shitty things to yourself or just beating yourself up, you know what I mean? What kind of example are you setting? You really want the younger generation, I believe, or older generation to say, hey, I want to inspire to be more, like the person or whoever you are, because, they really take care of themselves. And a lot of times you take care of yourselves, you just automatically start to want to take care of others, I guess you could say. That's how I feel about it. So I'm going to wrap it up there. If you get a chance, check out my podcast, The Rich Celenza Show. WTF are you talking about? I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My webpage is richcelenza.com, and if you get a chance, subscribe. But please, I can't say this enough, take care of yourself and study. Try to read up on health, watch videos. Again, you don't have to become obsessed, but if you are having some issues, try to address them. Sometimes you could just address them yourself. You don't have to run to a hospital. It could just be, like I said, even workouts. You may be damaging or injuring yourself, and you may have to try different types of workouts. You may be running and all of a sudden getting back pains or your ankles hurting. Maybe it's time to, power walk, or maybe time to go do yoga or swim. Sometimes you can prevent or, cure your own injuries to a certain degree. You just have to learn about them, okay? All right, I'll wrap it up there. If you get a chance, again, try to subscribe. Take care.